Hello my creative friend, my name is Olga and this video is going to be all about drawing an interior in Scandinavian style. And yes, I think I'm definitely bitten by Scandic design after my life in Copenhagen for 3 years. So let's begin this lesson. As for the materials, you will definitely need some gray markers, you'll need marker paper, you'll need white gouache or white tempera, a little brush, also you'll need white ink gel pen, let's say you'll need black marker and black liner. So let's get started. I will begin this drawing straightforward by using black liners. So if you feel comfortable with drawing with black liner and without any pencils or rulers, I would encourage you to do so as well. But if you feel at any point uncomfortable, please take a pencil and a ruler and take your time and draw this scene in pencil, no worries. Well, the first thing I love to begin with is outlining the basic proportions. And here, of course, it's our sofa. It's like our focus of the main interest in this drawing as well as in this photo reference. So it's basically one-point perspective. This is a room in one-point perspective, and we have this nice sofa in the center of composition. We have two round coffee tables in front of it. It's our foreground, and on the background we have some posters, and also we have this nice design lighting on the ceiling, which I really love. I love its graphic look. Now let's talk a little bit about Scandinavian interior design characteristic features. So it of course focuses on simplicity. This style focuses on minimalism and functionality. Scandic design movement, it actually emerged in the mid of 20th century, right after the Second World War, approximately in 1950s. And this style, it added an appreciation for craftsmanship and understated elegance in homes. Alright, and our first tip and first characteristic feature of Scandinavian design is obviously light, because actually lighting is key in this style. You know, in Scandinavian countries there is not lots of light, especially during winter months. In comparison with other parts of Europe, with other countries, especially like Italy and Spain. That's why light is the key here, and focusing on light is so important in Scandinavian style. We try to lighten up the spaces, and we try to invite as much light as possible. So we really can open up the space in Scandinavian design, and we can make it feel brighter and larger even despite its tiny size. Also, when I lived in Denmark, I noticed that Danes use a lot of candlelight, and I really love this feature because it creates this effect of hygge, this coziness and special touch to the interior. It adds like a touch of whimsy and glow to a space. Plus, almost in each and every house or apartment in Scandinavia, you can find a fireplace. At least when I lived in Copenhagen, Denmark, in all of my apartments that I rented, there were really very nice fireplaces that I really enjoyed, especially during cold winter months. Actually, I started to use this fireplace starting from November. Alright, so we are almost done with this first stage of sketching, which was like outlining the basic composition and basic volumes of the objects. And if you are still not finished yet, you can pause the video and finish your drawing in lines. So in my case, I'm really almost done with this line drawing, literally last seconds. So I will add maybe a little bit of light bulbs here and there, and I'm done. We can jump right into the next stage, which will be coloring. So one more time, please do not hesitate to pause the video right now and finish up your line drawing. Very good. So here is our second stage, which is coloring. So we are done with the basic line drawing, and as you can see, I didn't drew all the little details, just basic contours and basic volumes. So coloring is actually one of the favorite stages of my students from my courses, video courses on interior sketching and hand rendering for interior designers and architects. They really love it. We draw there with markers as well. So now, as you can see, I selected light gray marker from my chart pack box, chart pack set, and now with its wide nib I can freely cover almost all of the space on this sketch. It's really good to have different shades of gray, especially if you are an interior designer, especially if you are a hand renderer for architecture or interior design. Alright, so now I will select a very nice beige color, which is like skin color, and I will cover the flooring area with it. And this actually leads us to the second tip of interior in Scandinavian style, which is light flooring, and usually wall-to-wall carpeting does not happen in Scandinavian designs. So flooring traditionally is hardwood. It can be left in either in its natural color, or it can be painted white or very light mint. And you know, this light flooring idea, it really contributes to expanding the space and inviting in more light. Now, as you can see, I'm focusing on this gradient concept in my drawing. So these color gradations, they are really extremely important in interior design coloring with markers, because they add this feeling of three-dimensionality and this really cool look to your interior drawings. Because you know, the closer the wall, especially here, it's very obvious, the closer the wall to the window, the lighter it becomes. So we can add these gradients and gradations by simply adding more and more layers with our markers. Well, now I will grab my black marker and I will put some accents with it. And this stage that I really love, I think it adds fantastic graphic touch to our drawings. And actually, this stage in our drawing leads us to tip number 3, which is simple decorative accents in Scandinavian design. Usually these can be like posters or pictures with some nice fonts, beautiful graphic pieces of art, also stripes on the pillows, for example, are also very popular. So decorative accents in Scandinavian design are really very simple in style. For example, if it is vases, so usually there are elegant ceramic vases. If it's pillows, if we're talking about pillows, usually you can find some geometric patterns like stripes or some geometric forms and subtle color, usually black and white or grays, and very nice texture. As you can notice, we don't have any of these nice pillows in our reference photo, but I will add these cool decorative accents in my drawing. So follow me and put some nice cool pillows. So we can do these stripes, we can put some black pillows. I think it will really enrich our drawing. Well, now we are ready to add some shadowing, so let's put some cast shadows from the sofa, and I will put this nice big shadow in our foreground, which is happening on our foreground because of this bright sunny day. And not to forget, put these nice little guys, round shaped shadows from our beautiful coffee tables. And you know, this idea of light and shadow in your interior design drawing, which is known as chiaroscuro in Italian, in the art world, it's essential for us because it gives this effect of 3D, three-dimensional qualities. It adds volumes to the objects in our space. So it's truly highly important not to forget to show all these cast drop shadows and own shadows on the objects in each and every drawing of yours. Alright, now let's go back to our tips of Scandinavian design. Our tip number 4 will be all about color palette. So there is definitely a color palette associated with Scandinavian designs. Usually you can find whites, grays, blacks, light browns in Scandinavian interiors, and this calming, beautiful color palette, it creates a very clean look, and you know, designers also introduced some pop colors like blues or rich sea greens, or sometimes it can be dusty pink. And in case of blue color, you know, this very known color sounds like Copenhagen blue. It really enriches the interiors, and these pop colors, they add some nice accents to your interior design. Also, in typical Scandinavian spaces, walls are kept white, allowing for furniture and art and posters to captivate and to look brilliantly against the walls. Sometimes walls can be painted in light gray color, or sometimes in just regular mid-tone gray. In our case, as you can see, we have a very beautiful light gray wall for today. But in really 99%, you can find white colored walls in Scandinavian interiors. Very good. So our tip number 5 will be all about furniture, form and function. So in terms of furniture, Scandinavian design, it's all about clean lines. So tables, chairs, sofas, they all embrace mid-century modern tendencies with this nice, smooth, rounded edges. Actually, there are no sharp corners usually in this Scandinavian style furniture, especially maybe you've heard that the Danish design is especially outstanding in this case. So designers like Arne Jacobsen, Finn Juhl, Henning Larsson, they are famous for their fantastic furniture, chairs, lighting. Fantastic, and we proceed with this white paint, and I'm excited about it because I really love this stage. I really adore adding some accents with white color. To be true, usually I do this stage with such a media like white pastel pencil or white ink gel pen, but for today's lesson I prepared something different, this white paint. So in case if you don't have white paint now, but you have maybe white pastel pencil or white ink gel pen, you're welcome to use the media you have already. Well, we are going to spread this white color throughout the entire sketch. As you've noticed, I've added it to the pillows, and now I'm adding it to these frames. And let's put a little bit of white to these light bulbs, so they can look more transparent now, and they are reflecting light. And I will add also, it's my little trick and tip, I make this area closer to the window a little bit lighter with my white paint to enhance this gradation effect, this gradient. And also let's put a little bit to these legs of our coffee tables. I suppose you can instantly see how this little trick, this adding white color instantly transforms our drawing. It adds so much freshness and so much light, right? Like light is the key to understanding Scandinavian interior design. So it's really a fantastic trick. So give it a go and try to incorporate white paint in your interior design color drawing. Great, so our tip number 6 will be fresh flowers, and you know, this living elements of color can really soften up the space. And in Copenhagen you can find flowers like on each and every corner. They sell tulips or some range bouquets, succulents, and in Copenhagen they say that fresh flowers are not a luxury, they are a necessity. So let's liven up our Scandinavian interiors with some fresh flowers. And at the end of this lesson I will add some nice bouquet, some cool composition to one of these coffee tables in order to support our tip number 6, which was fresh flowers and botanicals. Well, it's time to add some nice accents to our foreground, which is these two design coffee tables. So I will enhance and strengthen these shadows in order to add more contrast to the foreground, and this will make our three-dimensionality and our aerial perspective look better. Alright, so also let's add some shadows to the pillows and to the handles of our sofa. Also I will put some drop shadows from the pictures, from these posters, but of course I will do them with marker, which is much lighter in hue than this one. So let's take this color and put a couple of nice shadows, and you can see how instantly this little trick improves the look of our framing. Well, our tip number 7 will be all about clutter-free interiors in Scandinavian style. So it's really very true characteristic of Scandinavian interior design. So spaces are well used and very clever storaging, and there is no unnecessary clutter in Scandinavian design. So storage is wisely implemented in the form of different cabinets and shelving. Decor in Scandinavian design is intentional. As you remember, this quote by Miss van der Rohe, this architect of 20th century, is less is more. So this is a quote for Scandinavian style as well, which keeps spaces looking clean and visually relaxing. I think one of the most famous brands is Swedish IKEA, and it's especially famous for its storage solutions. Alright, so as you've noticed, I added some reflections to the flooring area, and I think it really enhances this foreground. And now let's add some nice details and put some accents here with black liner. In case if you don't have black liners, you can use just regular black ink gel pen or any black ink pen. You even can use black permanent marker, but make sure that you use its thin nib, not a wide nib. So usually markers, they have two nibs on both both sides. So one is usually like thin nib, and the other one is wide nib or brush nib. Good. Good. Now it's time to focus our attention on this lighting, which is absolutely fantastic, and I was fascinated by it when I bumped into this little photo on Pinterest.com. So once again, I'm using my black liner, and it's one of the last stages of my interior design drawing process. It's when I'm adding some accents and I draw some details with my white, black, or sometimes some brown liners. Good, so our tip number 8 will be all about window treatments. They are really limited in Scandinavian design, and this idea contributing to the concept of inviting as much light in as possible. So Scandinavian spaces tend to leave their windows bare of coverings, but if used like on our photo, on our reference, light fabrics like linen are preferred. And at night, the glow of illuminated windows in buildings looks like a beautiful postcards, and it's very typical for Scandinavian interiors, especially in Denmark. And also I noticed that this tendency in Amsterdam. All right, well, sometimes the nib of the black marker can be can become not as sharp as it should be. In these cases, you can take a separate piece of paper and clean the nib up. So clean it up, and it will be nice and sharp again. Now I will put some accents with my brush nibbed marker, black marker, so it will add fantastic graphic look to our drawing, this graphic touch, and I really love how it looks. Alright, so let's proceed with our final tip of Scandinavian interior. It's actually textiles. It's all about warm textiles. Because you know, in Denmark, in Sweden, in Norway, it's a cold climate, and in cold climate countries, it's not surprising that part of the decor comes in the form of warming textiles, like especially sheepskins are very popular, like on top of popularity in Scandinavian design. Also, it can be wool or mohair, throws, and soft cotton. And all these warm textiles, they not only provide a feeling of warmth and coziness, this hygge effect, this Danish word hygge, which is actually untranslatable, but basically it means coziness in your home, special atmosphere, which is really very relaxing and calming. Yes, and these warm textures, they add another layer of texture to space. And talking about texture, I decided to add more this texturized effect to the sofa. So I will do it with my whitening gel pen. After that, I will give it some time to dry up, and then I will put an additional layer of my gray marker on top of it. Alright guys, so we are almost done. We are in our final stage of interior design drawing. Now we only need to spread this whitening gel pen a little more throughout our entire sketch. So I'll put some of it to this lighting fixtures, a little bit to these posters, to these nice little fonts. Maybe some of it needs to be added to the lighting, to our main lighting. Well, of course, I'm super excited to see your sketch after this lesson. So find me on Instagram. I'm olgaart888 there, and tag me on your photo. Put a hashtag Sorokina students so I can check out your sketch, and I'm really excited to see what you've drawn during this lesson. Also, if you want to learn more on interior design drawing, you are welcome to join my online video courses for beginners and for advanced learners. So I have a course base for beginners on interior design drawing with markers, and course pro for advanced learners. Check out all the links below this video. Of course, you can find all the information on my website, which is olgaart38.com, or on my Instagram, which is the same, olgaart38. All the information is there, so follow me and check more of my interior design hand renderings and sketches that I did with markers and with watercolor. To finish up this drawing, we will add some detailing to the parquet, and also at the very end we will sign our drawing. And as I promised you, I decided to add this botanical composition in a beautiful black vase, so it looks really cool here, and in my opinion interior looks more interesting and more Scandi style with it. As you can remember, we talked about it in our tip number 6, which was all about fresh flowers and botanicals, and that this is a necessity for Scandinavian interior design. Well, let's put final touches. As I promised, we'll put additional layer on top of this white ink gel pen texture we did previously. Now it dried up, so we can add this additional layer. And finally, yes, let's add your signature. So put your name on top of your sketch. It's a necessity as well. And yes, let's check our drawing with a fresh eye, and maybe let's see what we want to add. For example, I decided to add some extra shadows here. And my congratulations, we are done. Don't forget to tag me on Instagram and put a hashtag Sorokina students. My Instagram is olgaart888, so see you there. Bye for now. Thanks for watching. Please share this video with your friends on Facebook. Push the like button below this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please help me grow my channel. See you later. Bye for now.